Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Thank you so much for joining us live this evening, Thursday, right around 8:30 Eastern Time. We are live. Thank you to those of you who might be joining us live this evening on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch. We appreciate that. Good afternoon, good evening to those of you who might just be listening on your favorite podcast platform. We love you as well. All we ask is that you make sure you're following, make sure you smash that subscribe, give us a like, give us a comment. These guys are good. These guys are decent. Whatever you want, comment up for us. We appreciate it. It helps us out. The executive producer of this podcast would greatly appreciate it. The man who will host the wrestling portion of this podcast that will come up later. His name is Jimmy Jamriska. Jimmy, hello.
Rod, I actually like football this week. Who knew?
It's wonderful, right? The NFL is a roller coaster. A man who it's always hard to tell if he's up, if he's down, because he has so many different favorite teams in the NFL. He's our old man. He's Chris King. Chris, hello.
Trying to make that dig now since you're the guy that keeps swapping teams and jumping fan bases and jumping on bandwagons. So, yeah, I will say this, though. I forgot to bring this up, Jimmy. I am happy that you gave us in that new beginning of the show, the new what am I am lost for words now, but the new design that you have with all of our pictures drawn on there, you made us all look so much younger than we really are. So thank you.
Yes,
Exactly.
the logo, if you will. We're in some sound issues on Chris's end there, are we not? What's happening with that?
I think we are, Chris. Yeah, we are having definitely sound issues on your end.
All right, let's hope we're not having sound issues at Williams HQ in South Bend, Indiana. He's our handicapper. He's licking his wounds a little bit again, but that's all right. We dust ourselves off and we try again. The great Aaliyah told us that once upon a time in an R&B song that got some play on the radio in my day. He's our football handicapper, Josh Williams. Josh, hello.
All right, I'm going to go on a mini rant again right off the bat, Jimmy. Week 2. Lost KC plus 1.5 versus Philly. Kelsey dropped the ball at the goal line. Chiefs lose by 3. Week 2, lost Houston minus 2.5 versus Tampa because the Texans D couldn't stop Baker on a 4th and 10 deep in their own territory. Rod is laughing at me late in the fourth quarter. Houston ends up losing by 1. Week 3, lost San Francisco minus 2.5 versus Arizona. Mac Jones acting like he's dancing in the end zone. He takes a safety, and the Niners end up winning the game on a last-second field goal by 1 point. I need them to win by 3, so the safety really screwed me there. And then pushed Denver plus 3 versus the Chargers. Broncos up by 7 with under 6 minutes to go, and they have the ball, and they can't cover. Fun fact about Denver, they have not trailed in the fourth quarter for a single second this year, and they're 1-2.
That is amazing, Williams.
That's crazy.
I can't wait till later in the show when you tell us what two teams are going to lose for you in the last couple minutes. So that's awesome.
Super excited for that, Jim.
That's what you can look forward to it this year. When Williams picks a game, you know it's going to be something crazy happening at the end. That's what we have to do for you right now. We can't guarantee that you're going to get a win, but we're going to guarantee you that you're going to get an exciting game. So at least that's something. Well, let's just start with the fulcrum of this podcast. Chris alluded to it there. We are celebrating all around. Wait, not quite all around, Chris, because your Cowboys. Your Cowboys are essentially like the mushroom. Back when we always play Super Mario Brothers, when your quarterback encounters the Cowboys, it will eat the mushroom and level up and become a better player and throw for many, many touchdowns and look like a number 1 pick is supposed to. So, yay, bear down. They're thrilling the nation, Chris. And, oh, yeah, your Colts continue to win as well.
Listen, I will not sit here and say that the Cowboys defense is anything that resembles an NFL defense right now. So
Lose.
It was. I mean, what I really hope for Jimmy and Williams' sake is that Caleb Williams doesn't follow in the footsteps of Russell Wilson and have a career day against Dallas and then just choke the next week and lose his job. So, let's hope he doesn't follow in Russell Wilson's footsteps.
Oh, Jimmy, listen, you knew that Chris was slow walking you to something there, and did you think comparing Caleb Williams to Russell Wilson was going to be the thing? Chris is an absolute master.
Oh, he is. He's great. You know, he's always said that the Cowboys are really relevant. Well, they were really, really relevant this week and the week before. And my pick to have them have the number 1 overall pick it's still not looking horrible. Not going to lie. So I'm very excited about that. Listen, watching Caleb Williams go through his progressions in this game, watching him do the things that he needs to do to continue to move up. Obviously, this defense is horrendous, but you still have to make those plays. And he made those plays. And they had a couple really awesome plays that they made. They even missed a couple. I just think overall, everything was hitting well. You can see he's learning more of the offense. I'm excited. I can't wait. This is great.
Williams, was this a get back game? Was this a case of anybody's going to do this versus the Cowboys? Are you excited like Jimmy? You're a handicapper. You can try to look at these things, but the Bears do cloud your judgment a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just good for Caleb to get more confidence. And without Parsons, Dallas just does not have a pass rush. The Bears did go more heavy formations like I thought they might. And I hope that's the case going forward too, because when Caleb has time, I mean, he's deadly. And if you think I'm high on Caleb, Ryan Russillo had a quarterback coach on his latest pod, Quincy Avery, who's super, super sharp. He was making some bold statements, and he wasn't throwing out compliments to other people. He was pretty harsh on Arch Manning, but he was throwing out some bold comments. If you want to go over and listen to that pod, if you think I'm high on Caleb, so with his potential. But
Quincy Avery, right? Let's shout him out. It was Quincy Avery, I believe, was the
man.
Podcast for takes, right?
I tell you what, man, he is super sharp. But yeah, I mean, the Bears got to win, but they got to do it again. I mean, it's what have you done for me lately? And if you look at their road schedule, the Bears, it's pretty brutal. So they have to go out to Vegas and win this game. And right now, it's a coin flippy type of game for what the sportsbooks have. So you can't let down. And the Jalen Johnson injury is just huge for the Bears. So they got to try and muster any edge rush they can in these games here.
Edge rush, that is important all around the league. Chris, I watched quite a bit of Indianapolis Jones and Jonathan Taylor and the boys and Shane Steichen, and I thought they looked pretty good, and then I thought Tennessee looked pretty atrocious. But I know Jimmy's got some thoughts on that here in just a sec. But Chris, I gotta admit, man, Daniel Jones, okay. I'm buying it. I mean, my stance of I'm not excited about a quarterback on a 1-year contract being our starting quarterback. That stance is going to be the same this whole entire year, but I got to give Daniel Jones his props right now, Chris, for sure.
You have to, and I got to eat some crow too, because I was right there with you saying, no, let's just give A. Rich the ball and let's see where this takes us. Like, right, sink or swim, it'll be fun. But this is phenomenal, and he is doing exactly what we need him to do. Move the sticks, don't turn the ball over, be efficient, and then let that offensive line and Jonathan Taylor cook, because that's what they're doing. This offensive line can block the run all day long.
Jimmy Jam, we were told that A. Rich being gone might hurt the Colts running game. That certainly has not been the case. Why do you think that is? You're a season ticket holder. You watched this team run the ball last year with A. Rich. What's the difference this year?
I think that Jonathan Taylor's 100% healthy. They've got a great offensive line, and they have a quarterback that can hit the short passes, hit the long passes, and just run the offense. And that's something that they haven't done before. I did forget to mention Caleb Williams, obviously, is my face of the week because Caleb Williams destroyed the Cowboys. Just one more shot in there. I was fortunate enough to take the kids to the Tennessee Titans Colts game.
Right, I forgot, Jimmy Jam.
Yeah, we were live and in person. New stadium's going to be a lot better than the old one. I guarantee you that. The old one was fine, but their pregame, we are so spoiled in Indianapolis. Their pregame stuff was like non-existent. Indianapolis has so many different things, from the balls being thrown into the Dr. Pepper bins, the kids running against each other. But right away, that pick six just set the tone, and there were a ton of Colts fans there. Whenever I go to an opposing field, I'm a little nervous. I'm not really a confrontational guy, Rod. I don't know if you know that or not.
No.
So I, we weren't completely decked out in Colts gear because I didn't want to get, killed.
Listen, it's smart. In 2025, all these videos we see, it's smart.
I'm not fighting with anybody. The Tennessee Titans organization, though, is my heel of the week. Everyone in the stadium. The Colts called a timeout. It was 4th and 1, I think. Colts call a timeout. Okay, great, no problem. They come back out. All right, Titans call a timeout. Why would you? Okay, whatever. And then they get there. We're going to kick a field goal. Just kick a field goal. Okay, fine. Then they get a 5-yard penalty because they took too much time. They had 2 timeouts and a play clock, and they still missed. And guess what? He missed a 65-yard field goal. I did love the kicker's like, nah, I got it, no problem. Yeah, total horrendous. I don't understand. And now the play calling coach they hired, Rod, is no longer calling plays.
Well, that's good for him, I guess. Nice work if you can get it to paid to do absolutely nothing. Kind of like when Lawrence Frank back in the day was hired as Jason Kidd's #1 assistant, and then all of a sudden we got this press release that Lawrence Frank was just doing scouting paperwork. It's like, oh, okay, Lawrence Frank is no longer coaching for the Nets. Worked out okay for Lawrence Frank, though, I suppose. He's now running the Clippers, but he's got another headache on his hands. But we'll talk about that some other time. Williams, I wanted to go to you on this because you and I love Mike Tomlin. Okay. Tomlin, rah-rah spot is a foundational thing in this podcast. We both love Mike Tomlin. We also like to take our shots at Mike Tomlin from time to time. Our guy, Mike Tomlin, absolutely annihilated A-Rich out of nowhere when he just lets loose in a press conference this week that he told all of his guys last year not to knock A-Rich out because A-Rich playing was their best chance to win. Just a complete flattening from our guy Tomlin. Williams, what did you think when you heard that?
I honestly had not heard that yet. So this is news to me. So I didn't know that.
Literally said he's like, keep AR upright because Flacco coming in has a chance to beat us.
Oh, man, that's dirty. But that's wild that he would say that.
I think he was talking about it in fruition to JJ McCarthy being out for the Vikings. You know what I mean? And like I think it came up in that sense. But yeah, just a drive-by by our guy Tomlin.
Yeah. I could have went with our boy Brian Callahan for Are You Serious segment. I didn't want to take the low hanging fruit. I knew Jimmy was going to bash on him. But yeah, they took the delay of game. The field goal kicker already missed a 64-yarder. The 5-yard delay of game penalty made that second field goal a 62-yarder, and guess what? He missed it. But yeah, but people forget Danny Dimes has a top 10 fantasy season under his belt with the Giants and Dayball in 2022. I know Jimmy used to give me crap for being a Danny Dimes supporter back then, but when you ask about JT, I mean, he hit 22 miles per hour in a run versus Denver in week 2. That was the fastest by a running back since Raheem Mostert, the speedster from the Dolphins in week 2 back in 2020. So JT has the fastest out of anybody in the last 5 years. And that's
faster than a gazelle. Like nobody checked me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's faster than a gazelle. Like I think that's faster than a gazelle can run.
22 miles an hour is absolutely flying. Yeah, props to JT. I love that he's healthy.
Listen, the Colts are flying high down there in Indy right now. Carly Ursay-Gordon is becoming a figure that we all talk about, right? Everybody loves the headset. Everybody loves the notebook that she has out in front of her. What is she writing down in that notebook? Chris, what is Carly Ursay-Gordon writing down in the notebook every time they show her on the sideline?
I imagine she is writing down defensive sets and trying to work out new stunts for our defensive line.
Nice. So she's grinding away plays. Jimmy, your guess. What's Carly Ursay-Gordon write down in the notebook?
Mute. Jimmy's on mute.
Sorry. But you know what? That's kind of how I was going to start anyway. I know how the coaches are saying, oh, this is great. It's great. Wow. Talk about a manager right over your shoulder, like this is going to get old quick unless she really is just listening and not talking to anybody. But I guess she has been. I think she's writing down every single thing that happens in the game, like everything. It's like, why did the defensive coach not comment on this? Just because she wants to see everything that happens in the organization. When it comes time to making decisions, Rod, she's going to know what exactly the decision should be.
Listen, Jimmy, I echo your sentiments completely right there. It looks cool. It looks great right now when the Colts are 3-0. But if they started 0-3 and she's pulling all of that, you know what I mean? It's a completely different vibe, a completely different ball game. So let's hope Indianapolis Jones and the Colts continue to roll. Williams, you stated it there. I thought for sure that Brian Callahan was going to be you serious. He was not. So I can't imagine the vitriol you're about to spew at somebody else. Let's go to Are You Serious right now since we're on the topic of bad coaching decisions.
Yeah, man. I mean, you went Falcons with your survivor pick. I thought that it was a solid pick, and I
was trying to not mention that. Thank you.
Yeah, they end up losing 30-0. I mean, here we go. Offensive coordinator for the Falcons, Zach Robinson, landed in shotgun formation. They have attempted a pass on 93% of snaps. When Penix is under center, they've only attempted a pass once. All the other snaps under center, have resulted in a rushing attempt. Hello? You are tipping your plays, Zach Robinson. You don't think the NFL defenses are going to pick up on that? Also, the fourth lowest play action rate so far and the lowest attempted deep rate throw percentage in the league. The Falcons are only throwing it deep on a 4% clip. That's what Michael Penix does best. Come on, man. Are you serious, Zach Robinson?
Zach Robinson getting the scorn of Are You Serious going into week 4. Jimmy
Like
Brian Callahan.
Indiana high school playbook right there. That's how
That definitely is. Listen,
that is basic.
Williams laid his case out there, but I mean, if we were taking Vegas odds on who was going to win Are You Serious this week, Brian Callahan certainly had to be at the top, Jimmy. So I'm glad that you at least shouted him out when you talked about your experience down there in Tennessee.
Yeah, it would have been, and it should have been, but again, Williams and I are on the same page on a lot of things. You know, if you're the Bears and you're going against the Cowboys, you can run 11 straight running plays, but you do it from the shotgun or under center, so you kind of mix it up that way. That's a great set. Williams coming up with stats. I love it.
That's why he's the handicapper. All right, let's go to our guy, Chris. We've gotten a lot of our gimmicks out of the way already. We are moving along with pace. That is good, gentlemen, because we have a special surprise after we get done talking football. And before we talk wrestling, there is a reason that I'm wearing a golf visor and a golf half zip. We will get to that very soon. But Chris, who's on the Leatherheads this week, and Mekhi Becton is hoping after 2 weeks of being on the honorable mention, will he actually get the leather helmet? And Jimmy has a logo. This is great stuff. You got to check us out on YouTube.
No, he didn't, Rod. There is a recurring honorable mention here, and that is Penei Sewell from the Lions again. All right, had a perfect run blocking score, just a beast, and really that entire Lions offensive line is phenomenal. I wanted to put the Colts offensive line up there again, but I feel like a little bit of a homer. But there's really only one Leatherhead this week, a real dog, a guy on the defensive side of the football, first time for a Leatherhead this year. All right, but he single-handedly destroyed a team. We haven't talked about him yet tonight. That's Isaiah Rodgers from the Vikings. All right. Not only did he have 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, a pick. All right. He had 3 tackles to go along with it. He was on 26 plays where he was in pass coverage. They only threw to him 3 times. They avoided him like the plague, and they only completed one of those passes for 2 yards, and he blocked another one. So single-handedly outscoring and beating up on the Bengals. Isaiah Rodgers, Leatherhead of the week.
That's some Deion Sanders level stuff right there. Like if Isaiah Rodgers would have had a fancy nickname for himself and worn a bunch of gold chains and then like released a hip hop album coming up later this year, that'd have been some primetime level stuff right there. That's the kind of thing he used to do, Jimmy. You didn't throw to number 21. And if you did throw to number 21, there was a really, really good chance that he was going to get an interception. The only problem is Deion wasn't really tackling anybody. So I'm not sure about that forced fumble and 3 tackle stat.
Yeah, that wouldn't have happened. You know, Jake Browning not having a good day. Did not have a good day at all.
Definitely didn't. Definitely
not
did
looking
not.
good
All
for
that
the
talk,
Bengals.
all that talk of Jake Browning is going to be just fine for people in fantasy. Take that, Isaiah Smith in our league. How do you feel about outbid me for Jake Browning now? I picked up Marcus Mariota for cheap, and he was decent. That's how fantasy football goes sometimes. As we mentioned at the top, Williams' picks against the spread have had a rough go of it. He's right there. He's got it handicapped right, and then something crazy happens at the end. So now he is going to go across the pond. He hopes that the Blarney Stone and the Guinness is going to give him a little bit of luck. His first pick comes from the Minnesota versus Pittsburgh game. And yes, that's right, 9:30 NFL Network. You got to get up early to check this one out on Sunday.
Yeah, and I normally like to fade a team that is coming off a huge win. And you know how much we love Tomlin in an underdog spot, but I am going opposite. I am going Vikes here, -2.5 in Ireland. Rodgers is 6 of 22 when under pressure this year. That's the worst completion percentage in the league. That's 27% for those of you bad at math. He's bottom 7 in turnover-worthy throws, yet the Steelers were +5 in turnover margin last week against the Pats, and they had to hang on for dear life to get that win. And that was with 2 turnovers from New England right at the goal line and actually made through that pick in the end zone when they were inside the 5-yard line. So I just think that they're going to be that fortunate. I don't think they're going to be that fortunate this week. You've got Brian Flores on the other side. Nobody likes to blitz more than him. And you saw how effective That could be when you have a healthy Harrison Smith at safety and Andrew Van Ginkel, outside linebacker / defensive end. The Vikes also getting big offensive tackle Christian Darrisaw back last week was huge in sustaining those long drives versus Cincinnati. I just feel like the books haven't caught up to how good this Vikings team can be when fully healthy. I love this coaching staff. And if you get a chance to take Flores and Kevin O'Connell versus the Arthur Smith-led Steelers offense, I'm going to take the Vikings side every time. So give me -2.5 Vikings. Let's see how the luck fares over in Ireland this Sunday.
Listen, we talked about Tomlin. Okay, that's great. We talked last week about how you went back to your guy Shanahan. I'm just wondering at what point we're going to start giving all praise to Kevin O'Connell. Okay, because we saw Kevin O'Connell make the Dobstronaut look like an absolutely unbeatable quarterback. We've seen him take Nick Mullins and almost win a game before, and now we've seen him take Carson Wentz. Okay, Carson Wentz. One of the key themes of this podcast was railing against Carson Wentz the season that he was in Indianapolis. And Kevin O'Connell just pulls him off the street, dusts him off, and figures out a way to win a game with him at quarterback. I mean, Williams, your guy Shanahan's 3-0, so I guess this is a bad time for me to say that Kevin O'Connell has maybe replaced him. But my goodness, can that guy call a game?
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's great. I think the Vikings are in good hands going forward.
All right, that's the Ireland game early. Chris, Jimmy Jam, you guys got any thoughts on the Ireland game?
I do know that Pittsburgh has been called a drinking town with a football problem, so I am kind of concerned about how they handle going to a country like Ireland. They may be biting off a little bit more than they can chew.
Are we going to see like a pub fight when they demand Yingling and it's not there? Like, are we going to see something like that?
That would be great.
Steel Cities,
some Yinzers versus some O'Tooles. I would watch that.
Oh, hell yeah. Jimmy Jam, any thoughts on the NFL Network game, the early mornings of it? I'm kind of starting to fall into liking the early morning football. Like, why not give us more of these if they want to have so many exclusive windows?
Wake up.
Yeah, I do like it.
And mash.
I like it. I do like it as well. If you're betting on Carson Wentz, Williams, we've been down this road before, bud. Like,
no, I'm betting on Kevin O'Connell.
I'm worried. I'm worried about you. But at least he's not going against one of the all-time great quarterbacks. So that's good.
And you know what? Jimmy's worried about that pick, and the team involved in Williams' second game never worries Jimmy at all. Oh, wait a minute. It's the Chargers versus my New York Giants. And yep, I guess I'm ready to eat it on that one. And I was like, hey, everybody, the Giants are going to be frisky. And boy, are they not frisky. 0-3 and completely DOA. Changing quarterback. Russell, hustle and bustle, man muscle. Wilson is out. Shout out to Cousin Sal and Bill Simmons. And Jackson Dart, the man that Todd McShay was all glowing about leading up to the draft and now has nothing to say about Jackson Dart. It's funny how that works with these draft prospects sometimes. But Williams, maybe you've got some thoughts on what he's going to look like in his first start.
I do. And this may be surprising, but I love this pick. I love the Giants plus 6.5 this week, basically everywhere but DK. Let me talk this out here with you guys. First, Chris will love this. We have a West Coast team traveling east and playing at 10 a.m. body clock time, okay? Next, let's think about this, okay? Week 1, the Chargers traveled to Brazil for a tough division game. Week 2, they traveled to Vegas for another division game. Week 3, another division game, this time at home, this time an absolute miracle win, including one of the most ridiculous, outstanding touchdown throws I've ever seen by a quarterback, and Justin Herbert late. The Broncos got to Herbert, sacked him 5 times. Now, this is important because the Chargers have some major offensive line injuries right now. They were already out without Slater, probably going to be without Becton, and Pipkins is probably out too. That's 3 guys in the offensive line. What have I said from day one here? The Giants' strength is the front 4 on defense, and I think they've been underachieving so far this year because they've been on the field so much because Russell Wilson has stunk so much. Now, we go to the Giants. They normally don't have a home field advantage. I think the fans are going to be absolutely pumped for this game. This is the first game in the Jackson Dart / Cam Scatabo / Malik Neighbors era. And you get Brian Daboll, you get a pumped up Giants fan base. You get a banged up Chargers team. They just won 3 tough division games. This is an emotional letdown for the Chargers here. They've been playing out of their minds. I think the Chargers are a good team. They're not this good. They're playing like a 16-1 team. And they're now traveling cross country taking on the lowly out-of-conference Giants. I love this spot for the Giants. Finally, can we get a cover here? Giants plus 6.5 on Sunday.
I love it. Williams' passion about the play. The Giants are on my Wins League team. They have not actually participated in my Wins League team, being that they are winsless. Winsless? My goodness, I'm a podcast host, folks. My God, that was absolutely terrible. But I gotta say, I think the Giants are making a mistake here, Jimmy. And I think you know where I'm going with this. I don't understand why we don't have fresh crab legs laid all throughout that locker room.
Yeah,
I don't understand why you signed Jameis Winston if you don't go to him here. Jackson Dart clearly isn't ready. Russ isn't the guy. You gave Jameis a little bit above like league minimum, like he came to you. What are we doing here, Jim?
I don't.
Giants. Wait, why do you guys think that Jackson Dart's not ready?
Because he's
well, no. Here's the thing. If you're going to put Jackson Dart in, this is actually a pretty good time to put him in because it is going against very tough defenses over the next 5 weeks. However, on the other side, though, Williams, who are the best quarterbacks right now? Statistically, right? Danny Dimes, Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield. What do those three people have in common? They were thrown in right away. They didn't get a chance to develop. And now 3, 4, 5, 6 years later, Sam Darnold's been in the league for like 9 years, and he's 26 years old. They're starting to be better. So why do we have to throw them in right away where he's probably not ready?
I just think you have Jameis. That's the other thing. Like playing off of what Jimmy said, I agree with everything he said there. And then you add to it, you have Jameis. You're not just throwing in some other retread. We've seen Jameis. This guy could throw for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Now, maybe there's 3 picks, but it's still going to be 4 touchdowns and 350 yards.
The reason that these guys get thrown into it so early is because they don't have that veteran, solid quarterback in front of them. Jordan Love had an Aaron Rodgers in front of him. Aaron Rodgers had a Brett Favre. You have that type of thing. Those guys that got developed for a couple years had those good, solid quarterbacks in front of them. Who did any of those guys have in front of them when they got thrown into? Baker didn't have anybody to learn off of. What was it? I'm going to throw out tops. I know that's wrong, but that's the type of quarterback these guys replace. So
it's definitely not Tim Couch.
Do you want Jackson Dart to learn from this version of Russell Wilson or whatever shell Jameis Winston is?
Whatever shell Jameis Winston is, did you not watch the tape of Jameis with the Browns last year? That was not a shell of anybody. That's a man that can still play quarterback. That's a man that has some juice. All right. I still think Jameis is going to be heard from, Williams. Okay. Because my thought here is Russ is done. Russ is done in New York. We're not going back to Russell Wilson. So if Dart gets hurt or if Dart underperforms and they decide, we need to make another change because I don't want to get fired and I'm Brian Daboll, who I said wouldn't get fired. So again, wrong on the Giants, but I don't know, Williams. I'm not the handicapper. You are.
Well, I think Jameis is there for the locker room, and they will not move Jameis, even though teams may want Jameis. But Jameis is such a good locker room fun guy that they have. That's why he's on the team. That's why he's the third quarterback. And if they move Russ, then he'll move up to second. I think they're 0-3. They have to make a move to Jackson Dart. I think all the fans want it. They want to see this guy. I think you guys will be surprised with how well he moves on his feet, how well, he's going to get Neighbors some targets here. I think he's going to be able to see better than Russ, and you're going to see him use more receivers, Wanda Robinson, Slayton. I really think he's going to energize this fan base right off the bat. Cam Scatterbo also, and Malik Neighbors. I really think the Giants are, and it's tough sometimes for defenses when they don't have tape on a young quarterback. I think this is actually a dangerous spot for the Chargers. Now, Rod, I think you might be right. Like 2 or 3, 4 weeks from now, where people have tape on Dart, and he might have a few bad games. He probably will have a few bad games. But I think this spot right here, I just feel like the fans are going to come ready for a Giants win on Sunday against the Chargers.
Jesse Minter's talked about as the next head coach. He's the Chargers defensive coordinator.
He's
the Chargers are flying high. I mean, I don't know. I think this is a bad spot for the kid. I do. Let's hope he survives. Oh, look at that transition, Jimmy. Let's get our survivor pick, and then we'll update where the show stands, which is we're not good. We're like a zombie island at this point, but we'll get to that in a minute.
So this is going to be a who loses the least out of the entire year for us. So I'm going to go first. Williams, I'm going against you. I already put it down, so I'm taking it. your, and our Los Angeles Chargers. I've got them winning against the New York Giants.
Look out, Jimmy going against Williams. I love to see it. Williams, who's your survivor pick this week? You lost last week, correct? No, you're still in it, but you've already lost once this year.
Yeah, so you and Jimmy basically tied for taking down the survivor.
Yeah, we were the survivors. My Packers over the Browns pick, which, by the way, excellent call, Williams. You didn't put your money on it, but excellent call, Williams. And then the Falcons, we already talked.
So Williams, who do you got for your continued second life?
Yeah, so dogs off a shutout win are 15, 26, and 2 against the spread the following week. That number would tell you to go against the Panthers this week, so I will. I will take the New England Patriots in week 4 for my survivor pick. If you remove turnovers, I know that's a crazy thing to say.
Remove turnovers.
If you remove turnovers on the year, the Pats are actually 7th in offensive EPA. I think they get back going here. I think Carolina comes back down to earth, and I will take the New England Patriots for my survivor pick.
What about quarterback? What about quarterback concussions? Do you have to remove those two for the Patriots?
Sure.
No way. Is Drake May almost out with a concussion?
He got hit hard. He was not there. Stuff happened last week.
Man, my fantasy team will be in shambles if I lose Drake May. The only reason I'm surviving the Joe Burrow loss is because I have Drake May. I don't want to hear that stuff, Jimmy. Chris, do you want me to give my survivor pick, or do you want to give your pick?
No, I'll go, because for some reason you want to make this harder on yourself. I didn't give you any crap last week because you were being unnecessarily risky, and I wanted you to lose, so I wasn't alone in the loss column. I don't know why you picked such a hard game and such a toss-up. Just like I
thought the Panthers were terrible. I didn't think they were capable of scoring 30.
Right, so I am not playing it crazy or anything. I'm going to take the Bills. All right, they're not going to lose to the Saints. It's at home, so let's go Bills. Give me that W. 3 in a row.
All right, see, okay. You know what? Screw it. I died anyway. I'm a zombie at this point. Chris just absolutely attacked me and just shivved me like he so often likes to do. So there is zero chance that I'm going to have the same survivor pick as him, because I did have that game down, because I thought to myself, Rod, you just died. Let's get back on. Let's take something easy. Screw that. I'm going to go against a team that I think is terrible, and a team that may be looking for a new coach after Monday night is over. Give me the frisky Jets. Jets, go Jets. They've been fighting. The Dolphins are terrible. And maybe I'm just letting the lovely Aaron Glenn memes that were all over the place with him dancing around to Earth, Wind, and Fire. Maybe I'm just letting that color my judgment here, because in a week that was so full of so many things I did not want to read about on social media, every time I would come across the Aaron Glenn video, I would smile and think about Earth, Wind, and Fire. So maybe I'm letting that color me here. But I do think the Jets are frisky. I think they want to play for Aaron Glenn. I think they're trying to get something together, and the Dolphins are terrible. They've quit on Mike McDaniel. I'm going there, because I was going to pick what Chris picked, but because he's mean, I'm not joining him.
That at least will make that Monday night game interesting for you, Rod.
Who's
I'll
quarterback?
be watching wrestling, but I'll be checking in on that game on my phone.
That's the first Monday night game. There's a split doubleheader on Monday night, and I can't believe nobody picked the Packers out of the 4 of us.
I picked the Packers last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Jimmy,
can't pick the Packers again, because you know what? I won. No. I'm still going, Chris, because the Packers lost. I won.
All right. Well, you know what else we have? We have a wins league on this, and boy, was week 3 a transformative week. We had somebody come from out of the bottom. We still have the same person on top. I've got Chris with 15 wins. Jimmy Jam, is that correct?
Oh, I need to update Chris. Yeah. Yes.
I've got Chris with 15 wins. I've got Williams now storming up into second place with 12 wins. Is that correct? I've got me now in third place with 11 wins, and Jimmy has occupied the basement with 10 wins.
I am where I belong.
Jimmy is suffering from the same thing that I am. Jimmy has the Titans, who have yet to participate in his team. Jimmy has the Jets, who have yet to participate in his team. I have the Texans, Jets, and Dolphins, who have yet to participate in my team. So that's hurt me. I have 3-3-0 teams. Nobody else has that many 3-0 teams, but I got nothing else.
How about
Rod? It's not looking good. You've got the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Texans. Texans really hurting you there.
Yes,
with that really
that's
hurting.
One of the worst
Williams,
picks in the wins draft at this point, because that was my 4th pick. I could have taken the Packers.
I mean, look at Williams. Ravens and Chiefs combining for 2 wins. What's going on there?
Jimmy you absolutely stole a win
Shut up.
for me with the Philly Rams game. And that might have been one of the worst bad beats ever from anybody.
Sorry. No.
Wait a second. The Rams were getting 3.5 points. They were up 26-7. Anybody who had the Rams there getting plus 3.5, and then comes back, ties the game, blocks the field. They could just fire on it. No. Rodriguez, 300 pounds, runs it back for a touchdown. Anybody who had the Rams plus 3.5, absolutely brutal. One of the worst NFL bad beats I've ever seen in my life.
You know what's really bad? No, Rod, no. You know what's really bad, Williams? When the Denver Broncos actually won the game, everyone is over, but they didn't win the game. Yeah. Bad beats. My team, the Denver Broncos, has not trailed in the fourth quarter, and they've lost twice. How does that happen?
Insane. It's like they knew that I took them for Mason Wilson.
Rod, I apologize. I'm sorry.
No, listen, Jimmy, I love it when you were fired up. The fans love it when you were fired up. Our guys, the Crippler and Corey Nance, when they're checking us out live, they always enjoy seeing you get fired up. I forgot what I was going to say. I had something that I was going to do there, and then I started thinking about...
Chris, Myles Garrett for Leatherhead. I mean, he did single-handedly win that game. Crippler put that up there. I thought that was a good honorable mention there.
I know what I was going to have.
Right, he had a great game.
Talked about the NFL and gambling after that beat that Williams is talking about, right? And how that, like, in years past, guys probably might not have ran for that because all he had to do is just go down and the game's over and they win, right? But, like, he just talked about how we have so much more awareness of it and stuff now, and, like, the NFL's in bed with the gamblers and all of that stuff. Interesting to think about on those bad beats.
Dude, 7 NFL games were decided in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds in week 3. I mean, it's so balanced.
Blocked kicks within minutes of each other.
Insane.
Minutes.
That's how you end an NFL week. That's how we end an NFL podcast. We were hoping to be joined by a special guest at this time, but you know how these things can go. If that special guest joins us, we will then talk about what he was going to talk about with us. But I guess since that special guest is not here, Jimmy, we got to audible and maybe talk some wrestling. What do you think?
I think we need to talk some wrestling. Chris, take us home.
Like, comment, and subscribe. Goodbye, Internet.
Williams, thanks, buddy.
No problem. Get him.
Welcome to the Yeah We Know podcast, part of the More You Know's podcasting network. In the ring with Jimmy, Chris, and Rod. We have so much to talk about, gentlemen. Chris, I need an old man take from you first of all.
We need an investigation now into these so-called referees of the WWE getting themselves involved in the matches, trying to make themselves bigger than the match that they're involved in. It is just unconscionable, and this needs to stop. And if they don't start an investigation soon, I don't know what's going to happen.
Old school.
Okay, so which one are you talking about here, Chris?
You guys know who I'm talking about. The one guy that never shows up until something weird needs to happen. The one guy that tends to get knocked out all the time. Like, it's all suspect.
Wow. Chris, that was a good old man take. Rod, what are you hot about today?
Oh, Jimmy,
what aren't you hot about, Rod?
Yeah, I was going to say, that is a loaded question, my guy. That is a loaded question. ESPN. If I was ESPN, I would be a little bit like, so this is what we signed up for. This is a palooza. This is the extravaganza. This is what our, I was not impressed.
So it's okay. So WrestlePalooza, first of all, let's talk about this real quick. I watched via VPN. I thought it was extremely easy to go into Netflix and watch it. No problems at all. Chris, how about you?
The same. Very simple.
Okay.
Right there.
Now, Rod, you went traditional, correct?
Yeah, we just added the $8 and something that it was to our already existing Hulu and Disney Plus subscription, and now we got the ESPN Unlimited.
Okay, so it was easy for you to find it. Everything was good to go there.
Correct. Now the re-show was a little bit difficult, right? Like the re-show wasn't immediately available, and then at one point, like it cut out even when you'd rewound back, which I had done at one point. But other than that, it was fine.
Okay. I thought, in talking about that, I thought everything technology-wise went pretty well on my end as well. I didn't really have any major issues with that. And for someone who is a huge wrestling fan, who really did think about, is it really worth paying $650 to go see this? I'm really glad I didn't.
Yes.
ESPN, their coverage gave it a C, and I think that's a pretty good overall grade for the show. it did feel like one of those shows that didn't really matter. It did for some reason. Now, I will say that the not Lyra Valkyria, I knew I was going to do it. Stephanie Vaquer and Io Sky match was fantastic. I thought that was the best match of the night. I thought the Cody and Drew,
The SmackDown main event you're talking about?
and it was the main event of the show, and I'm not sure why, because once you're like, oh, the Punk and AJ, which should have been the main event, no matter what you think of the match, it should have been last. I don't know why that was the main event. So let's talk about that, I guess, first, because I think we can all agree Io Sky, Stephanie Vaquer was a very good match, right, Chris?
Yeah, it was. I will say, just to jump on this bandwagon, I'm glad we didn't pay to go see that. I would have paid more money to go to Evansville and watch the SmackDown before the PLE, just to say. But yeah, I thought that was, again, Io and Stephanie put on a great match. I did not like the outcome, of course. I thought Io should have had the belt on there, but they get more stories. They have more.
Io's got big stuff
with,
coming though. Io's
right?
got big stuff.
So
With She-Hulk.
There's way more. Yeah, there's way more coming. I know, but I still would have liked to seen her have the belt on. I'm a fan of Io. I want her to win. Great match though.
Yeah, Rod, we make a lot of bold claims on this show, and one thing that we do have to continuously remind ourselves that we were wrong is when they put Io in the triple threat at Mania, because that has just catapulted her to a whole different direction. So let's go, Rod, to the Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre match. They had this kind of concussion, not concussion angle going on with Cody Rhodes, which I know why they did it, but it just seemed out of place. Like, why would they do that?
Oh, see, I actually was watching it with a bit of the sound down. I was in one of those kind of situations where there was kind of like a party happening, and they allowed me to have the TV on, even though there were football games on another TV, that kind of deal. So I didn't pick that up from the match. So to me, it just seemed like a SmackDown match that had no luster to it, man. Like, we cooked it up out of nowhere. Drew kicked Cody through a table, and then Cody had to be gone because of the birth of another child, or maybe filming a movie. I'm not entirely sure. Both completely legitimate reasons. I'm not mad at Cody, but it just felt weird. It just felt cooked up. It just felt like, hey, here you go. And I had huge problems with the mixed tag team match, but I do agree with you, Jimmy, that should have been the main event.
Is this because it was rushed for ESPN? Like, this was supposed to go up against AEW, right? Like, I'm sure they had something this weekend.
No. The ESPN really wanted it this weekend, Chris. It had nothing to do with AEW having a show on. Nothing.
So
at all.
I feel like especially this aspect was all pushed really hard and fast with no kind of real build up for it.
For that one, for sure. And that's why it shouldn't have been the main event. So let's go to the mixed tag. So this mixed tag, like all the other matches, were really wanted to tell a big story. And when you tell big stories in every single match, that kind of goes a little long. This match should have been about 10 minutes shorter. It would have been a lot better of a match. And Rod and I are going to disagree here. I thought AJ Lee looked great overall. She wasn't in the match for the first 12 minutes, though, which that got old quick. The CM Punk Becky Lynch making the final tag was okay, but you got to get her in quicker than that. Again, shorten that match up. AJ Lee's, whatever she was doing, if you're on YouTube, you see, her punches, her like, I don't know, throwing the punches was kind of weird. I know that's what they wanted to do. I just didn't buy it, but I thought everything else looked good. I think our finisher looked good. Overall, I thought the match was just fine. I didn't think it was horrible. I didn't think it was great, but it should have been the main event. Rod.
Great. You're going with great. AJ Lee looked great. That's your official stance.
I thought she looked great.
Great.
Overall.
All right. So you're going to come on in the previous segment and talk about how the Io Stephanie Vaquer match brought the house down. And it was the match of the night. And then we're going to talk about AJ Lee, and you're going to describe her as great after you just said that the Io Stephanie Vaquer match was the match of the night.
He's got some rose-colored glasses on, Rod.
So, Chris, you're with me.
For someone who hasn't been in the ring in a decade, she looked great.
So what? Who cares? Yeah. I don't care about that. If you're going to put her in a match and you're going to make it a big deal and everybody's going to freak out about her, she's got to be able to give me something, and she gave me absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I didn't buy her at all. I thought Becky Lynch had to oversell everything. I thought Becky Lynch had to save her numerous times. I don't think AJ Lee scares me at all. I don't buy that she'll do anything at any time, and that's supposed to make you worried about her. What the heck ever, man. She's smaller than Becky Lynch. All right, she's barely bigger than Roxanne Lee, and she can't pull off any wrestling moves. That was the worst submission I've ever seen. I did not
That's
like
a good
that match
submission
at all. No, it is not. That submission is
yeah.
terrible. What is she even?
That's awesome.
What part of Becky Lynch is even hurting when that submission gets put on her? Is it her shoulder? Is it her?
Yeah, Rod.
She
was grabbing her arm afterwards.
Oh, is that what was happening? See, again, Becky had to sell it for her. I came around the bend on CM Punk, but man, AJ Lee, leave me out, man. Leave me out.
All right, Chris, talk some sense into me.
They're taking every time these 4 people come out on whatever show or anything else, it eats up 30 minutes of my life. All right, I am over it. I'm sick of seeing all 4 of them out there together. Either Punk and Lee get a crew together so we can see all of the Visionaries crew with Becky at the same time, make it a little bit more interesting that way, or just not do this anymore, because there's times on the weekday shows that this just gets dragged on, and they dragged it on for so many times. The last segment on SmackDown was, I even went back to clock it. I think it came in right at 27 minutes from the beginning of intros until they were on to something else. It's just insane to me, and it's not telling me any type of story, because I never saw AJ Lee wrestle before. I'm not impressed or excited to have somebody like her back. I was kind of interested at first when she came back, but not really anymore. I wasn't impressed.
Okay, well, there's that. Well, you're going to be seeing a lot more of all of them, I have a feeling, over the next few months, for sure.
Are they going there for War Games, Jimmy, or are they going to give us 2 other teams? Are they going to go WWE versus NXT, or are they going to do what Chris just described, Punk and AJ Lee recruit to go against the Vision?
No, I think it's going to... It depends where they go
I'm
with
going
Brock
to
and Cena.
revolt if they get the Usos and LA Knight over there on CM Punk's side. I am going to revolt.
Well, see, I don't know. Well, if they do, though, Chris, Jey Uso will probably turn heel in that match. You know, and they've done that at War Games
too.
before.
See, now we're just...
He's
now
always
we just
been a heel.
No, Jey Uso. Chris.
We
Jey
don't know
Uso
if
knocked
Steve
himself out with
are
a
not
chair.
good guys. You're not going to convince me otherwise.
This is going to
All
make
right,
me
well-
not like CM Punk again, Jimmy, is what this is going to do, because this is all just the CM Punk effect. This is all just the CM Punk effect. People still go completely nutso for that guy, so everybody's going nutso for his wife, and everybody's just getting sucked into this vortex of a story that they got no idea how to tell.
Well, WWE, you've officially taken Rod 360 degrees now. He did a 180. Now he's back to 360. Congratulations there. The John Cena and Brock Lesnar match. So I after when this was the first match, you knew it was going to go quick. And then you also, but it was another squash just like they had in SummerSlam a few years back. Hated it. I loved having all the kids come out with Cena. I thought that was great. I thought that this meant that Cena was going to come back and beat Brock Lesnar for his final match, or one of his, maybe
Please no.
But now I'm hearing that's not happening. I think this might be it for Cena and Lesnar's just going to go on maybe to face Cody, which again we did after Mania a couple years ago.
Brock looks fine. Okay, Brock has a name. He's built up. I understand that that's part of the game, but like I don't need Brock Lesnar involved. We got so many other guys that we could tell stories with that I don't need Brock Lesnar involved. I don't need to try to rebuild him up as a badass, because I have a huge problem with the segment they did with R-Truth before he then came out and squashed John Cena. I know they tried to make him get over bad again by, taking out Michael Cole and Corey Graves. Shout out Corey Graves for taking a bump for the first time in like 11 years. That was absolutely awesome to see that out of Corey. You know what I mean? But like, you can't have him come out and do a segment with R-Truth. He rip his pants, and then he's leaving camera smiling at everybody, taking his cowboy hat off, just looking like the big, goofy, lovable Brock. And then 2 weeks later, he's tearing John Cena from limb to limb.
Well, Chris, with Paul Heyman coming out and doing his intro, that does open up for a Brock Lesnar Vision War Games team.
That's not a team I'd want to fight in War Games.
No, it is not. Lesnar versus Braun, I believe, is Lesnar versus Breaker is what Mark wants to see. We'll see that for sure. I don't think it's going to be anytime soon, but we will see.
That's
that
a Mania
eventually.
match. That's a Mania match. They could just
That's
cook up
definitely
and
a
on some
Mania
going with
match.
Breaker.
Speaking of Mania, Rod, you're the best in the business for this reason. WrestleMania, 42 tickets came out. They are double what they were last year in Vegas in the same stadium. So this is a 2-night show, so it's for both nights. The 400 section, the top section. So if you are in the top of the arena, the last seat in the house, you are paying $854, which is $425 in like $427 per night to go see Mania. This really stinks. I'm not going to lie. It's coming to Indy eventually. Maybe, I don't know, they might back out if Saudi just keeps giving $100 million. I cannot afford, even one day, I can't do $1,500 to go see a wrestling show. Like, what is going on here?
It's unfortunate. It really is, right? Like I'm a man who understands finance and economics, so I completely understand that TKO Corporation has shareholders that they have to answer to and profits in the whole nine. Now, do I agree with any of that? I absolutely don't. And this is what we're seeing, right? There's not enough, right? It can never be enough. Forget that the WWE just struck new TV deals, right? Forget that. Throw that out the window. Forget the WWE has completely made the ring look like a minor league stadium, right? With selling out even more advertisements than they did before. They just have, right? Don't get me wrong here. I'm not trying to say that Vince McMahon was a pillar and didn't try to sell out every last thing that he could, because he absolutely did. It's what made the man great. But he still had a little semblance of, all right, there's a little bit about this that's sacred, so there's certain things that I can't do. And if we don't bring in some of our true fans, we're losing some of the atmosphere. Now, granted, Vince still wanted them way up in the nosebleed section, but he kept prices a little bit down. And TKO just keeps gouging and gouging and gouging, and it's unfortunate.
Chris.
Yeah, I mean,
Chris is all about corporations now, Rod. So
Jesus, no. But that's the thing. Rod hit it on the head, because with a corporation, it's nothing but squeezing the most amount of every customer you have, because you build your stadiums and set up your souvenir shops and your food distributors in a way to maximize profit on all avenues, right? And so that's the thing. But what I get nervous about is Rod just hinted at the end, your diehard fans, right? Your fans that are going to your non-televised house shows and spending the most money on your merch, probably, right? If they stop doing those because people can't afford to go to them, and so they're not selling out, and then you don't hit that, you're going to lose your main fan base, and that's just going to be it in the long run, and you're going to end up becoming too big to even put on stuff that people are going to want to watch.
UFC is used to these very, very big gates, and that's what they're just bringing over, because they're going to raise it until they don't sell out, and then they'll put them down. So it's up to the fans to say, I'm not going to pay $9,000 for a ringside seat. That's just, I mean, listen, I'm not paying $1,000 for a ringside seat. We had so much fun at the Royal Rumble. We were in the 300 section. Chris, you were on the floor for the Royal Rumble. And I know Chris didn't pay no $3,000, $4,000 for his ticket. Yeah.
I'm just disappointed too, Jimmy, because I think about two things, right? You mentioned it there. WrestleMania is supposedly coming to Indianapolis, right? I could not continue to call myself a wrestling fan if I didn't go see a WrestleMania once in my life. And if it's in Indianapolis, I'm never going to have a better chance. But it's like, man, do I have to start saving money now? You know what I mean? Do I have to like secretly hope that the Saudis, like you said, don't just sweep in and say, you know what, we'd like to have WrestleMania again, second year in a row like Vegas did. So we're going to give you $250 million this time to have WrestleMania 44 in Saudi Arabia again. You know what I mean? So like, it's just, and then here's the last one I think about even further down the road, right? Super Bowl crowds, Jim. We always hear about Super Bowl crowds aren't great because a lot of the real fans aren't there, so they're not making noise. If you start having WWE arenas that are just full of the rich folks who tend to maybe not want to get as loud and crazy, are we seeing pops? Are pops going to become a thing of the past if they start pricing people out like this, Jimmy?
I 100%. And add that, and it's an outdoor stadium maybe. So yes, it will definitely be a lot quieter.
That's a bummer, man, because pops are one of my favorite things in wrestling.
It's so strange. Another one of my favorite things is when two champions wrestle each other, and we've got Cody Rhodes and we've got Seth Rollins. I think it's the fourth time that they're wrestling one-on-one. They talked about a watch a lot. I don't really care about the watch. Okay, Rod, here's the thing. I don't want Seth Rollins to win this match because I want him to beat Cody Rhodes when it means a little bit more than a ring for a Saudi show. Is this? Well, this isn't Australia though. So what?
It is.
The crown jewel, whatever it is. I don't want him to win this one. I want Cody to win this one, Rod.
I just don't want. I don't want this match to exist. And if this match is going to exist, I want us all to agree to something right now. At no point ever in our lives, when we are trying to list career accomplishments for a WWE wrestler, will we list crown jewel champion. Okay, I love me some American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, but if he happens to beat Seth in Perth, I'm never, ever, ever going to refer to him as a 2-time crown jewel champion. That is just not happening. I love Seth Rollins. If he happens to beat Cody Rhodes, I solemnly swear I will never. Wait a minute. I might have to reassess that one, Jimmy. If he actually does beat
you're
Cody.
gonna definitely talk. You're gonna be wearing a Seth Rollins. You're gonna be dancing.
How many crown jewel champions have there been?
Think just one,
So
one or I think
this
just
is
one.
Just the one, yeah. When
could
Cody
be
beat
the
Gunther and
only
then
crown jewel champion is essentially what we're saying.
Yeah, because before they did it at Survivor Series, where it was champion versus champion, but it wasn't for anything. It was just champion versus champion. So,
and I know the Gunther Cody was
Cody
that
beat
that was
Gunther.
a crown jewel, right? Or was that the?
Yeah.
that was crown jewel.
that was when they gave him the belt that we saw for like 1 week, and then nobody's ever seen it. Like again, I think the Bobby
Because it was an actual $1 million belt.
Well, that's fine, but
Yeah.
I think the Bobby Lashley win, my guy Baron Corbin win, my guy Carmelo Hayes, when they win the Bobby Lashley Battle Royal, not the Bobby Lashley, the Andre the Giant Battle
Yes.
Royal, that is more of a career accomplishment than the Crown Jewel Championship.
And that's saying something. We had the greatest Mexican destroyer in the history of Mexican destroyers. And I don't know how Grayson Waller didn't die. But Penta and the War Raiders, who are all good. New Day, and Grayson Waller's really stepped it up, too. I thought
Jimmy,
that was a fun match.
How many times have we seen the War Raiders fight the New Day? I mean, are we at 120 at this point?
They don't have anything else. They don't know what to do with either of them, actually. But, Chris, I thought this was a fun match. And Penta's amazing. It just seems
so
like
amazing.
he's just going to just be where he is and not go anywhere.
Yeah, probably, unfortunately. But let's be honest, in wrestling, we need wrestlers like that. We need wrestlers that can go out and put on a show. And who cares about the story necessarily, but like we get to see a good match. But sometimes with the good stories, we don't get the good match we want. All right, that's been proven to us. But at least with guys like Penta, with Waller, who has improved, with a guy like what's the one dude in Judgment Day, JD Vance.
It's not JD
Guys
Vance.
I know, but either way, it'd be funny. Those guys can take bumps and get destroyed, and those matches are fun. They put their bodies on the line and everything. So, yeah, unfortunately for Penta, that's maybe where he is, but I'll still watch every match of his.
So Chris just made the Judgment Day the new Brawling Brutes. I love it. Just come out there and get absolutely wasted by another tag team.
In something
Even
that I
though
don't ever
Judgment
think
Day are champions.
I've never seen this in wrestling before, guys. I've never seen it. A champion came out and said, hey, it was great winning the championship. I did it for you guys. I want to keep making history. I'm going to be great. And then left, and it was over. That was it. Stephanie McGurk came out, did a promo, and left. I thought it was terrific. I loved it because usually something happens.
Yeah.
Now, the reason it didn't happen is because Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Jade Cargill are fighting for the championship on Friday. So I thought that was.
Dude, what kind of a lead balloon will go off if we get Nia Jax all of a sudden winning this crown, and then she fights for the Crown Jewel Championship again? Didn't she fight for the first one in the time Cody beat Gunther?
Was it against your girl, Morgan?
Yeah, I thought it was Liv and Nia that squared off for the Crown Jewel Championship. Or am I thinking of Nia winning Queen of the Ring? See, there's just too many Saudi matches at this point now.
A lot going on there, Chris.
Chris is confused as well. Jimmy, I want to go in on Penta here real quick because you're absolutely right. And I'm going to go in on Penta this way. Penta should probably talk to his guy Andrade, all right? Because Penta right now is basically doing what Andrade did, all right? And by that I mean, okay, certainly Penta has more of a reaction from the crowd, but that's because he has a cool chant, and Andrade never really had that. But Penta shows up, absolutely wrestles his ass off, and gets nothing for it. Andrade came back to the WWE with a little bit of fanfare, got a couple of runs, wrestled in so many ladder matches, and took so many insane bumps, and wrestled his ass off on any time they needed somebody on a SmackDown or a Raw, and the WWE just said, get out of here. So, I mean, Penta, my man, figure out something to get yourself even more over, or you're going to suffer the same fate as Andrade, and that bums me out. R.I.P. Andrade.
Heel Jey Uso beat LA Knight. They had the Vision came out. There's chairs involved. Shocking. It's the same thing we've seen every week. I don't really want to talk about that. I want to talk about one of the best matches we've seen in a while with Rhea Ripley and Asuka. Dude. Asuka brought it. Rhea Ripley did as well. And I just think they had a terrific match. I know the ending was kind of dumb, but the amount of mist on Rhea Ripley made for a really special night. The Kyrie stuff was weird. She didn't play it up very well, but man, that's going to be some good matches we have. But I love this match. I thought it was terrific. Asuka has never beaten Rhea Ripley.
It was a phenomenal match. I think we're going to see her beat Rhea in one of these back and forths at some point. Probably through some kind of weird Kyrie help, right? That we'll see. But it was a phenomenal match. Like, it looks like Asuka is more in shape, more in ring shape than she was when she first came back from injury. So her matches are a lot more exciting, a lot more reminiscent of what she was before she was injured. I think that's a big step forward, and we get to see somebody really kind of go toe-to-toe with Rhea and put on a good fight that's actually believable as well.
Is this where I can do my bit about the mist again, Jimmy?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Like, I'm sorry. I get that this is a thing that we got from Japanese wrestling, and I get that this is a thing that Asuka has done before and that Shinsuke has done, but like, I don't understand why getting misted in the face affects Rhea Ripley so much, but it has no effect on Asuka holding it in her mouth. I mean, I'm sorry, right? Like, I understand the idea of like nobody wants
She's
anything.
blinded, Rod.
I know. I get that nobody, even water in your eyes for a second would be there, but like, clearly you could see that they moved most of it away, and then we're still supposed to act like she's, oh my God, my face is burning. Can you believe it? How terrible that and nobody speaks of, hey, by the way, it just came from another biological human in their mouth. I mean, the mist just, I have a problem.
I think you're going to have
Came from a biological human in her mouth.
You're going to have to
There we
take
go.
some chemistry classes with Van and learn that sometimes there's liquids that when they get aerosoled or misted, they have a different type of chemical reaction when you are mixing them with the oxygen and other things in the air, that they then can cause something that may be benign in your mouth to turn into an acidic substance out in the misted
Someone is a
aerosoled
CPO,
air.
aren't they? You're a CPO. I like
Man, that time as a key grip on Mr. Wizard back in the day is really paying off for you, isn't it?
Wizard.
Oh, you are a wizard. So that is wrestling for this week. Let me tell you, it was a week. Boy, was it a week. So next week we're going to have a little basketball talk. We'll see if our special guests come for that.
Yeah.
We're going to have some football, and we're going to have some wrestling, as we always do. Next week, look for us twice. We will be up on, I think it's Tuesday?
I think Wednesday. We're doing the...
So we'll do Wednesday some basketball, and then Thursday.
Yep, we got a Wins League in the NBA. So we all know how much fun the Wins League is in the NFL. We got a Wins League we're doing in the NBA. A couple of special guests are joining us. They're hopefully going to join us throughout the basketball season. We are looking forward to that. And shout out to the Ryder Cup. That's why I got a visor on. That's why I got a half zip on. I love the Ryder Cup. The United States is the underdog, but they're playing in Bethpage Black, New York. Fanfare should be off the charts. Bryson DeChambeau is kind of the CM Punk of golf for me. I used to despise Bryson, and now he's my guy. So hopefully Bryson and Scotty will lead the U.S. to victory. Jimmy, any Ryder Cup thoughts as we go out?
Bryson's wife's name? AJ Lee. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm just joking.
Chris, I was ready to buy that for a second. Chris, you got any Ryder Cup thoughts for us? You love Europe.
Still pulling for America in this one, Rod. Damn.
Listen, I had to get a shot in. I've been pretty nice to you most show, and you came at me early, so I had to get one in. I made you wait till the end.
I do think that this team it may be an underdog, but I do think this team can pull it out, especially at a place like Bethpage. You don't need to be a 350-yard driver every single hole at Bethpage. If you get too crazy, you'll get into trouble. We all know the wicked stories of the rough there, so I think the United States can pull this out, but it may be close.
Let's go. Love Ryder Cup Sunday. I'll be watching that with NFL games on the second screen.
And with that, you've been listening to the Yeah We Know Ryder Cup podcast on the More You Knows Podcasting Network.
Listen, they should have a team competition in the... Oh, wait, War Games.
Like, comment, subscribe. Goodbye, Net.